Hi guys, welcome back to Simply Watching TV. I know it's been a while, but we are back in action, ready to go. And I'm ready to get into Sex in the City, Season 1, Episode 5, The Power of the Female Sex. Or of female sex. Whatever. Really quick, we have a new subscriber. Yay! There's more than 2 people watching this. I love it. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I hope you continue to enjoy the content that I put out. I just love talking about TV, and I just figured, you know what, let's just make videos about it. So without further ado, let's get into why we are here. Season 1, Episode 5. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Episode 6, maybe because it's been too long and it needs to be Episode 6. Okay, but Season 1, Episode 5 of Sex and the City. So the scene opens up, right, at Balzac Restaurant. It's like the most happening restaurant in New York. It's one of those places where you can never get a table. It's always crowded, but you want to go because the who's who's are always there. And it's just this nice chic place that you just want to eat and have a good time, have a drink, whatever. So, of course, they can never get in. They can never get a table. It's crowded. Like, it's one of those places where you can get a drink at the bar and still, like, wait for your table or wait to get put on the waiting list. But they're not getting in. Like, they're not. Samantha, it's just Samantha and Carrie, by the way. Samantha is, like, tried to get their name on the list, and it's just, like, not happening. And Carrie makes the hostess, like, she gives her the title of the most powerful woman in New York City, because she's like, she's the one that tells you if you're getting a table or not. Like, and really it's not her, it's the people who come, the people who make reservations, the more powerful people than the average who's who. But the place is swamped, the place is crowded, so there's nothing you can do about it. They leave, and you know, they're like, Samantha is furious. She's like, if you know that was a dude who was a hostess, we'd not only have a table, but they'd be sending us drinks back to back. And she kind of puts it off as like, we didn't get a table because a woman was standing there and she didn't care about us. Like, we would have gotten a table if it was a dude, because guys love catering to women. Okay. But so of course they leave. They're talking, and Carrie's just like, I'm just hungry. Like, can we please talk about this like at another restaurant, like over lunch, because I'm starving. So they end up grabbing lunch, and then after, Samantha goes back to work, and Carrie goes to the Dolce & Gabbana store. She's looking for some shoes. Carrie has like a really big shoe problem, and really, like, it's all just like, fashion is big in this show, so we're always like especially in the coming shows and even movies, because I think I want to review the movies too, but in the shows, like, we're gonna be talking, especially in this one, but we're gonna be like speaking on the outfits of choice, because a lot of times Carrie got it right. There were like some questionable pieces that I'm just like, did she really need to put that with it? But whatever. But she has a shoe problem. Like, it's recognized. She knows that it's the shoe problem. She's had to learn some harsh lessons because of the shoe problem, but she loves shoes. She'll spend her last on it. And like, I feel like we all have a thing where we'll like, maybe not, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the people who know how to budget and who know how to, who are good with their money don't have that problem. Some people do have that problem. So she's in the shoe store, and she's just like, oh my God, these are so cute. It's not the shoe store. She's in Dolce & Gabbana looking at some Dolce & Gabbana shoes. And she's like, I want these. Wrap them up, put them in a bag. I'm getting them. And remember, okay, these are like not for my Gen Z people, but remember when in the stores, when you used to, well, I wasn't old enough for them to be calling my card, but it's like, remember when people would like pay with a credit card and they would have to call in on a certain amount? Or like when you were paying for something and you would write a check and you had to write the check in the store. And what a time. But he's calling, he has to call, of course, for her credit card usage because the price of the shoes. And so she's standing there like, I'm getting me some new shoes. And he gets off the phone and he goes, miss, and he takes some pair of scissors, cuts her card in the store. Not her card getting cut in the store. I'd be mortified. Like, no, like, I'm running out. I wouldn't even been standing there talking. And he's like, and they want to speak to you, actually. And I'm just like, Like, I've seen that happen on TV, but cutting people's stores in the card. Cutting people's cards in the store. What did I say? Cutting people's credit cards in the store. Then, it's almost like her fairy godmother of fashion. Amelita pops up, right? Now, who is Amelita? Amelita is some chick that Carrie knew, but not like friends. Like, they knew each other from around the way, hi and bye, whatever type of thing. But they, it's one of those like, oh, people used to be really good about this. Not so much now. Like, I feel like now, if somebody was just on a high and by and not necessarily a friend type of thing, people don't speak. But back then, people, if they like ran into you once and then saw you out on the street, they were speaking. Like, hey girl, remember me? They don't do that anymore. But Amelita did that. She was so ecstatic. She was, of course, in Dolce & Gabbana with her man friend buying up the store. Amelita is going to be the fashion icon of this episode because every piece just, did what it was supposed to do. She sees Carrie in this cute, I don't know how to describe a lot of things, so just bear with me. She sees Carrie in this cute, it's pink and it has like blue design on it, like blue and like kind of yellowish. It's giving floral. It's a very like tropical looking outfit, right? And it's not strapless, but it's and it kind of crosses, maybe like a cross, I don't know. But it's a dress and it's pink, and she had the matching little light jacket that kind of just goes over the shoulders a little bit. So cute. Very like attention to detail type of thing, right? And so she's just like, oh my God, like, oh, how have you been? Like, oh my God, this is great. So Carrie, tells us briefly, like in a hug kind of freeze frame, like, you know what? Amelita is one of those people that is just a high and by type of thing. Like, we are not friends like that. But, she's a cool girl. And, apparently she's described as Euro trash, but whatever. She's paid, she got money, and she be everywhere that everybody needs to be. So she sees that Carrie is kind of like struggling with her shoe purchase, and she's like, I'll get them for you. Like, you don't even have to, whatever, like, I'll get these shoes. And of course Carrie's like, no, oh my God, like, don't do that. And she's like, yes, no, I have to do that because I want to, because you're my, no, I'm just kidding. Because she's like, I'm gonna do that for you because I love you, like, you're great. So she buys her the shoes, and she gets them, of course. And Carrie's just like, okay, thank you. Like, this is a cute gift. Rightfully so. Because I'm not going to keep going back and forth. Yes, no, in the Dolce & Gabbana store. Like, yes, okay, fine. Since you insisted, you don't have to, buy for me. You the one who offered. So she gets her the shoes, and she's just like, okay, child, like, see you later, blah, 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 right? So, of course, Carrie is back at home doing her column, but she's thinking about Amelita and how she was kind of on that date with that guy, and Amelita was telling her, like, he's very small but knows what to do. And so it kind of got her thinking, like, okay, what's the difference between, where is the line between a professional girlfriend and just a professional? And then so now Carrie, Sam, Charlotte, and I don't like calling Samantha Sam, it's just kind of Carrie, Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte are all sitting around the table playing cards and just talking about it, kind of like, what's the shame in being a professional girlfriend or just a professional, or like, what are your views on it? Of course, Charlotte, we know Charlotte, you don't approve. But Samantha, of course, doesn't see anything wrong with it. Miranda's kind of that in between type of thing. And so then Charlotte brings up her, like, kind of situation, if you will. There's a painter that is interested in, I think, what is like her art gallery or something. Sometimes when Charlotte talks, it's just like so he's some kind of painter that she ran into or whatever, and she really wants, I know what it is she wants to put his paintings in her art gallery, but she thinks that the only chance she has of him agreeing to it is if she has sex with him. And so they're like, oh, well, are you gonna do it? Like, if that's your only chance, like, well, like, what's tea? And of course she's just like, I don't know, I don't even know for sure if that's what it is, but like, I just have a feeling that that's all he wants. So because the plot twist on this, usually Charlotte's I won't say that. It's still the beginning. Charlotte's going to get more interesting later, but usually, like, as of now, her stuff has kind of been, but I'm telling you, the plot twist on this is going to be so, like, what? So we'll talk about that at the end because that's where it happens. So they're still playing cards. Here comes Skipper knocking on the door. Now they're at Carrie's house, mind you, right? So he's picking up Miranda from Carrie's house. Miranda goes and opens the door and she's so mean to Skipper. She's like, you're early. And he's like, okay, well then I'll just go back. And then they're like, and Carrie's like, no, come inside. Like, Miranda, what is wrong with you? She's so mean. Like, I think at this point, I don't like Miranda because I just don't like how mean she's being to Skipper. Because to me, it's like, if you don't like the man or if he annoys you or whatever, leave him alone. Why are we still bringing Skipper around or you still entertaining Skipper, but you're mean to him every 5 seconds? And then he, you know, with no self-esteem and no dignity for himself is just taking it. And that's his fault. Because Skipper, you need to, like, you know, don't let nobody talk to you like that. So he's just like some sick puppy dog over Miranda. She's just being so mean. And it's just like, girl, like, I can't. So they leave, and then eventually Samantha and, well, I was about to say Miranda. Eventually Samantha and Charlotte leave. And then Carrie's like in the bed. Like, she didn't, you know, put her pajamas on. She got her eye mask. Like, she's just, you know, in the bed. Here comes Amelita calling her, right? So Amelita's all loud because she's in the restaurant talking about, Carrie, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm actually trying to sleep. What are you doing? And she's like, oh no, you have to come join us down here at Balzac. Like, we have to, first of all, I don't like the name of that restaurant, but okay. You have to come join us down here at Balzac. Like, it's great and blah, blah, blah. And so at first Carrie's like, no, like, I'm sleeping. And she's like, no, I think you should come out. And so Carrie, of course, you know, is like, sure, whatever. Finally gets dressed. Oh, Amelita talks her into it because she's like, oh, this is a great opportunity for you to wear those fabulous shoes. And she's like, you're right. I haven't worn those fabulous shoes yet, and I need to. So she starts getting dressed and put her stuff on or whatever, meets them down at Balzac. Now, they're already in the restaurant, so they're already at their table. Carrie is still having trouble with the check-in girl, the hostess. Sorry, not the check-in girl. That's kind of mean. She's still getting into it with this hostess because this hostess is like, you don't have a table. Your name is not on the list. And she's like, my name don't need to be on the list because my friends are already here and I already have a table. And Amelia's like, Carrie! Like, they're the only people in the restaurant. So loud. So freeze frame, we're looking back at Amelita's outfit, right? Because she comes and gets Carrie from the hostess stand. She's wearing she wore a lot of sleeveless, strapless in this episode. She's wearing a strapless green dress. What kind of material? I want to say the design on it, of course fabric, but the design on top of the like base material, I want to say it was given like a shiny green mesh, but it was like swirls and it was so cute. And of course the jacket matched. I don't know if it was a full like over the shoulder jacket or a crop, because that would have been cute too. But it was a matching jacket. It was like a set and it was so cute. Also, Amelita has long, like either dark brown or black hair with a middle part and doesn't do that much with the makeup. Like, she does the makeup, but not like too much. And this particular night she had a red lip. So it was really cute. And green looks good on her because she has like that tan, like Euro tan skin. So green looks really good on her, right? Anyway, unfreeze frame, we're back in the show. So she takes her to the table and where, you know, she has her gentleman friend, of course, but then there's an extra gentleman friend. And, you know, he's this French guy, this French architect. And, you know, they're having conversation, they're flirting, stuff like that. One thing leads to another, and he walks Carrie home. So they're having conversations, and he's like, you know, you should show me around New York sometime. And she's like, what? You never been around New York? And he's just like, nah. So she's like, okay, sure. And, you know, I'm getting the profile of him. He's okay. He's tall, dark hair, French. Okay. His jawline was a little weird to me. Now, I don't know if the jawline, if it was so much of a weird jawline or if the lips were too light. You know how some people have really light lips? So I don't know if it was a combo of that or if it was really the lips and then it was like playing onto the jawline, but I didn't care for it. So he was okay, you know, maybe like a 6, 7 out of 10. Honestly, I'd rate him, but of course he had the height thing. His build was nice, broad shoulders. He looked physically fit, so I got his, maybe that'll bump him up to a 7 out of 10. He had nice eyes, so there's that. But you know, so yes, so she says, okay, yeah, I'll agree to take you out on the day and stuff like that. Well, not take you out on a date, but yes, we can go on a date around New York and like have fun. So the next day she's getting ready for the date and here comes Skipper. Now this is crazy to me, right? So she lets him in, right? Because he's coming over here basically trying to vent about Miranda because he's as confused as we all are. Miranda, leave this man alone if you don't like him. But why are you stringing him along like this? And that's kind of his thing in a roundabout way. Of course, he's saying it like all pitiful and just like don't know what to do. But we're all saying it like leave him alone if you don't like him. So Carrie lets him in and she lets him vent. She lets her getting ready for her date, and when I say getting ready, not makeup, I mean like changing clothes while Skipper is sitting right there in the bedroom. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. And of course it's more because she probably kind of sees him as like a little brother type of thing, but still, like that was interesting. I don't know about that. So, but here's another note. Skipper says, I don't even take a shower after because I just like to have her resting on me. And I think we all took a dramatic pause because what are you talking about? Mind you, Carrie is holding Skipper's hand like, you know, trying to be supportive and everything, and she lets go like, that's disgusting. You need to wash yourself because that's gross. That lady is being so mean to you, number one. Number two, you don't wash her off of you. And that's when she had to ponder, you know what, Miranda, while we talking about the power of female sex, Miranda has the power over him because that is wild. So anyway, Carrie goes on her date with her French architect and they go around the city having a good time. La-di-da-di, we like to party. And, you know, they take it back to the hotel and I was going to say Miranda. Carrie is just like, oh no, I have a rule. I don't sleep with guys that I haven't known for X amount of time. And he's like, oh, for real? That's cute. Continues kissing her because he's like, girl, I ain't come over here. He's like, you think I've been whining and die to you for you to tell me, wait, which is crazy because again, it's like, don't expect that. But and so she's like, I gave in. And so they do the deed and everything like that. And he's like, okay, I gotta go. He's like grabbing his clothes. And she's like, oh, I can get dressed. At first I thought it was his place, like, or his temporary place. Maybe it was his hotel because he's not from New York. Oh, now that I think about it. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, because he was only in town for like a little bit of time. But maybe that was his hotel room or something. I don't know. But it was because she ends up ordering room service later. But anyway, so he's like, okay, well, I gotta go. And he's grabbing his stuff and like low-key rushing out of the room. And she's like, oh, I can get dressed. I can go. Like, I don't have to stay. He's like, no, are you kidding? Like, you know, sleep, stay as long as you want to, or the room service, whatever. And, you know, he gives her like that kiss on the forehead type thing. And he's like, I'll call you. I'll call you. You don't have my number? And that's what she said. It just dawned on me. He doesn't have my number. How you gonna call me, Lewis? How? Whose phone are you going to use? Like, how are you gonna call me? And so then her wheels, you know, start turning like, this is crazy. You what? So then she looks on the dresser. And it's an envelope with Carrie written on it, right? 1,000 bones. This man paid her 1,000 bones to do what she did. Can you believe that? So now she's questioning everything. She's like, oh my God, like, I feel terrible. This is crazy. Why? This is, And so she invites the girls over and they have room service in the hotel room. And they're talking about it in full detail and like passing the envelope back and forth. Mind you, Walter, the waiter, is like standing there delivering their eggs Benedict while they're over here talking about her getting paid for her sexual activities. Walter, can you excuse us, please? Like, we trying to have a conversation about this. And so Samantha thinks there's nothing wrong with it. Money equals power, sex equals power. So money for sex, power. And Miranda's just like, yo, whatever. Like, what? And so she's like, he doesn't even have my number. He said he was going to call me. He doesn't. She's like, girl, he pays you $1,000. What else do y'all need to talk about? Like, that's done. I think Miranda is not necessarily like, yes, go ahead and be the pro I know you can be. But she's like, kind of like, hey, it happens. Like, it is what it is. You did it. Who cares? And so they're just all kind of making jokes about like, the fact that he paid her for sex. Let's go back to the fact that they went on the date during the day, because I forgot to talk about Carrie's outfit on the date. Now, Carrie, it's kind of chilly outside, right? So Carrie had on what looked like a sleeveless, yes, because it has spaghetti. Okay, let's just call it spaghetti strap. She had on a spaghetti strap floral that was fitted and it looked cute, right? And then a red jacket on top. Now, that was cute because there was red in the floral piece. Then she gonna throw on this Tiffany blue boa. That was kind of odd. But maybe not to the, I don't know, fashion, the forward fashion people. Maybe that was like a good staple piece. I don't know. Maybe there was some Tiffany blue in the floral. But from what I saw, it was kind of wild. So there's that. Okay, now we can fast forward. So now we fast forward to the painter and Charlotte going by. Well, Charlotte arrives at I think it is his home. Charlotte goes to his home so they can kind of discuss more about his paintings and him being in her art gallery and stuff like that. And so to me, it looked like he was flirting with Charlotte. Like, he was like, somebody as young, talking about somebody as young as you. I'm surprised somebody as young as you know about me. Granddaddy, like, stop. And she looked cute. Her hair was flowing in the wind. She had on her cute power business suit, right? So he brings her into like where all of his paintings are hanging up and stuff like that. And so, he's like, oh, what I paint is just, when people try to like warn you about, have you ever seen those episodes of like where the painters be painting some crazy stuff and they be trying to warn the people who are going to view it like, okay, it's like, this is something that's just so near and dear to me and it's just great and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he was painting cat. Everybody cat. And they're talking about, I paint all the women. These are paintings of all the women who have touched me in a way. Like, I bet they did touch you. Whose are these hanging up on the thing? And I mean, I guess it's like no face, no case. Because how are you going to be able to point that out and be like, in our gallery, you know what I mean? And be like, yep, I knew that was Rebecca. Like, you're not going to be able to do that. So obviously, who's going to know? But then he called it a see you next Tuesday. And Charlotte was like, ooh, I don't like that. And I can kind of feel Charlotte because I don't like that one. I don't like the P word either. So, and I don't know, but it's just, the P word is just something about that double S. I think I can like kind of put up with the see you next Tuesday a little bit more than the P word. But the P word is that double S that I just cannot get with. I hate it. I've always hated it. It just always makes me feel like, so I'm thinking, so I'm thinking, right? He's flirting with Charlotte. And I'm like, see, this is a perfect segue for him to ask if he can get in her pants. You know what I mean? In comes his wife with cookies and lemonade. Like, they some teenagers doing homework upstairs with the door open. Like, she's like, oh, I have lemonade and cookies. And I'm just like, And so that's when he asked Charlotte, like, can you pose for me? And Charlotte was like, I mean, sure, right? And he's like, great, since you're here now, I can bang this thing on out in about like an hour or two. And the wife is like, oh yes, I'm sure you have an immaculate see you next Tuesday. What? Why did you call it that? Oh my God, why are y'all walking around calling it that? That's crazy. So That is a plot twist I was talking about. Not only was, so technically, yes, he was trying to get in those jeans, but it wasn't for what we thought. He was still trying to, he was trying to use her as artistic motivation, inspiration. He was trying to use her for artistic inspiration rather than just trying to literally get in her pants. But can you believe that? I was like, oh my God. And then his wife, fine. And then that's where he said the whole, oh, all of these are women that have touched me. You ain't gonna say that in front of me now. Like, look, we can, I can be as progressive as you want me to be, child. You are not gonna sit here and tell me that you have all the paintings of these women's crotches on the wall talking about they've touched you. I'm sure they have. So Charlotte is just like, Charlotte is taken aback, honestly. But again, then there's another like surprise at the end. So we'll get to that because that is the end, right? So it hits back to Samantha and Carrie, and they are still having trouble getting into Balzac. Like, literally, they are back at the restaurant that they had trouble with in the first place. Unless Amelita is there and literally calls Carrie beforehand to tell her, like, hey, I'm at the restaurant, come meet me. They're not getting in. Like, that's just what it is. I don't know how Amelita's getting in. Maybe it's her man toys, but they're not getting in. So Samantha's at the bar, you know, drinking a drink, and Carrie is like walking upstairs, I think maybe to go to the bathroom or something like that. And Amelita sees her from down in the like dining room area, and she's like, Carrie, like, again, like they're the only two people in the restaurant. Like, girl, why are you screaming everywhere? And so Carrie sees her now. Amelita is standing up, and we can see her from the top of the stairs because that's where Carrie is. Freeze frame. We're going to talk about her outfit because Amelita, of course, was in another bad outfit. Strapless black dress. Again, I don't know what type of material. I'm going to have to look it up. But gold trim, gold design. Can you believe that? All black strap. I gotta find me a dress like that and wear it out somewhere. I mean, gorgeous. Stopped at like about the knee. Okay, they didn't really show the shoes, but, and I don't know if she had a matching coat because her coat was already off. Like, she had already been sitting there. And she was with some more friends this time. It wasn't just her and like another stud or whatever. But yes, that dress, Amelita gets like the 10 out of 10 fashion for this episode, for real, because she came with it. Like, she was ready to go, right? So at first Carrie didn't want to go down to the table because she's still kind of like feeling some type of way about the whole, oh, I pulled this down too low, I think. She's still feeling some type of way about the whole $1,000 on the dresser because she's not comfortable with anybody thinking even remotely that she is a pro. Like, she's like, no, first of all, I got way too many bills to even, you know what I mean? Like, for anybody to think that way, because if that's the case, I'd be floating like Amelita. But then on the other hand, it's like, I don't want to be known as that. Like, I want an actual relationship, and when I have sex with people, I want it to be for fun or to be romantic. I don't want it to be of service. But so she's still in her feelings about that. So at first she didn't want to go down there, but then, she does. So she goes to the table and she doesn't really stay for long. Mind you, this whole conversation that they're about to have, she's standing up. Mostly though, it was a lot of people. They was in a booth. They could have made room for her, for her to sit down, but they didn't. So, Amelita's introducing her to everybody that's sitting at the table, and they're all nice, like, hi, hello. We get to Mario. Now, I think Amelita was trying to set her up with Mario, and it kind of didn't work, but she was going on and on about Mario. Like, everybody else, it was like, oh, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so, this is she, this is him, this is they, this is what. But Mario has this, and Mario goes here, and Mario's in Venice, and Mario does this. Mario was cute. Mario was cuter than the French architect, for sure. Yes. I'd do Mario. Dress or no dress, I would do Mario. He was cute. And you know, then he started talking about Italy, child, and it's just like, oh, really? And so, you know, they're like kind of having that conversation about that, but Carrie's not feeling it. She's just like, you know what, I'm gonna have to pass on the invitation, but you know, it was good seeing you. Nice meeting you guys. Good seeing you, Amelita. I'm about to bounce. My friend is sitting at the bar. Side note too, Amelita smoked cigarettes, but she used the holder instead of just holding the cigarette with her fingers. And I'm just saying, if I smoke cigarettes, I would use the holder. It just gives a touch of glamour. You know what I mean? Like it's just I see why people were so easily persuaded to smoke cigarettes in like the 20s and stuff. Because if you're sitting there looking as glamorous as that, like imagine, right? You in a 20s gown that's like crystalled out, your hair is swooped doop doop doop, your makeup is done, you got on that fire red lipstick, and then you sitting here holding a cigarette with a holder. How glamorous is that? Now, cigarettes are gross, and you know what they do to your teeth is trash. But I'm just saying, the look was what it needed to be, right? So, Carrie goes to the bathroom, and she runs into the most powerful woman in New York, the hostess at Satc, right? And the woman in New York had to like take a few steps down because she asked Carrie for a ladies package. And so Carrie was like, you know what? We all have our days. And she asked me. And so she was like, I guess she ain't that powerful, which is kind of immature because it's like, girl, like really? And she said from that point on, they never had a problem getting a table in Balzac. They finally got a table. Her and Samantha had their Cosmos, and they finally had a table in Balzac, and the show wrapped right there. And that was just such a good episode. I'm sorry. No, it didn't. It didn't wrap right there. I forgot. They go back to Char's art gallery. I'm so sorry. They go to Char's art gallery, and that's where they see the paintings, and they're all cracking up because they're like, girl, what is this? You didn't tell us that he paints these kind of things, right? And so remember earlier he asked Charlotte if she could pose for him, and she said yes, but we didn't see her actually pose. So did she really pose? Word on the street is she did. And they were like, what? Charlotte? You got down and dirty and posed for that painter, and now your whole shangwang is sitting in your art gallery. But that's okay, because, I mean, nobody, again, like I said, that's one of those things where really nobody can even guess unless you tell them or unless they heard through the grapevine. But nobody's going to know. So, whatever. And that's where the show ends. So sorry, you guys. But, this was a fun episode. I really liked it. I thought Amelita was really cute, even though, you know, she was doing some strange things for a piece of change and was having Carrie doing it too without her knowledge. But it was definitely a cute episode. So next week we'll be back with season 1, episode 6. And hopefully it's another goodie. It probably will be though. This show's a good one. Also stay tuned for the next episode or the next video, of Girlfriend season 1, episode 6. That one is like kind of on theme with Halloween. It's kind of like Joan and William playing pranks on each other. So hopefully that's a goodie. All right. See you guys. Bye.